Morning, guys. Louis in the UK. So, let's just look at the time. It is 9:03 a.m. Southwest UK. Just so you know, my name's Louis. I'm a lifelong Elvis fan since I was about 4, and I always like to promote Elvis and talk about anything to do with Elvis. It's my way of giving back because I feel that Elvis helped me in my life. And sometimes, guys, you're not always going to agree with what I say. And I talk about many things on my channel to do with Elvis. And Priscilla is a big topic on my channel, but also the Memphis Mafia, Colonel Tom Parker, all the ex-girlfriends, the life that Elvis lived, all through the movies, all through the all through the Vegas concerts, his army years, his childhood growing up. So anything Elvis. It's quiet. The kids have gone to school. The wife is a school teacher. She's gone to work. And my daughter's upstairs asleep, my 17-year-old daughter. So just a quick little thing about me. I'm on a diet called carnivore and keto, which helped reverse all my health problems. I had ulcerative colitis. I had pre-diabetes. And when I stopped eating the sugar and the carbs, the bread, the pasta, the rice, the donuts and cakes, when I stopped all that and introduced just meat, eggs and fish, a bit of salt, bit of butter, it transformed my health. It made me lose loads of weight. I started exercising more. I personally started feeling a lot younger, and it gave me all my energy levels back. So if you're thinking about losing weight and getting your energy back and feeling healthy and reversing health problems like diabetes, type 2 diabetes, look up the carnivore diet or the keto diet. Look up Dr. Ken Berry or Dr. Anthony Chaffee or Dr. Sean Baker. They're all on YouTube, and it could change your life, guys. Now, I'm not pushing this on you. It's just, it helped me. It's made me slim out. It made me lose my belly. And I think it made me look younger. I just thought I'd say that, give you that tip on my channel. It worked for me. That's it. So, the title of this live stream is Elvis and Priscilla, were they both victims? Now, I've already done one live this morning, just a short one, because I do get some quite angry comments about Priscilla. If I talk about Priscilla, if I comment about Priscilla, people don't like it. There's many people that don't think that she deserves even 1 minute of me, or not just me, of anyone talking about her. They're so angry and upset with her, and that they just don't want to hear it. Now, there's also thousands of people that do want to hear it. Now, I personally think Priscilla is a really interesting, complicated topic, and I think it's very hard to not bring up Priscilla when you're talking about Elvis's life and how it impacted his life. Whether it be going right back to the army years and then even after they divorced, it did have a massive effect on his life. It did. So I do try and analyze the friendship, the relationship, leading up to the divorce, and then all the stuff that happened after the divorce leading up to Elvis's death, and then also Priscilla's life that she led from Elvis's passing to the running of Gracelands with the help of others, and then going forward, all the things that Priscilla did after Elvis passed, whether it be the TV series, those Amazing Animals, or Dallas, or The Fall Guy, or the film she made, Love Is Forever, just stuff like that. And then even after that, where she spends her life promoting Graceland and Elvis and anything Elvis, basically traveling the world talking about Elvis, and obviously hundreds of interviews going through all the decades. And I do think that's part of the story, guys. I do. So I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to do videos on it. And I think that if you really do want a three-dimensional view of Elvis's life, you have to include Priscilla and actually the Memphis Mafia and Colonel Tom Parker as well. I think these are unpopular things. There's many people that are unpopular on topics. So Colonel Tom Parker he gets a lot of hate, but I still think you have to include him in the story. I think it's a big part of it. And then you've got the Memphis Mafia, the different people that were in the Memphis Mafia. They all have a story to tell. And I know that many of you guys are upset with certain members of the Memphis Mafia because of the book they brought out just before he passed away. So, you know, where did it all go wrong type book. And then there was copies of that book done by different people. So that story needs to be told. But I also find that you have to really understand Elvis, you have to go right back to Mississippi Tupelo and understand this humble guy that was a good Christian, went to church with his parents and worshipped his parents, especially his mother. And you have to get that person who started off, who probably realized at some point that he had the talent to sing, probably could tell that he was okay at singing. And then this self-realization just blossomed like a flower. And I think well before Elvis walked into Memphis Studios, Sun Studios, he knew he could sing. He knew he had talent. And obviously he was influenced massively by his surroundings and the shake rag areas and gospel music, but also country music and rhythm and blues and jazz music. There were so many influences that affected Elvis. I think it completely took him by surprise that he became famous and that suddenly everyone was talking about him, and he had these opportunities all open up for of course, at first record sales, but then TV appearances, and then eventually the movie roles before he was whisked away to do the army years. You know, he was drafted. And then he comes back in 1960 and another whole world opens up for him with GI Blues, some more albums of RCA Victor, and it just kept exploding, didn't it? So one of the comments I keep getting is that Priscilla makes out like she is a victim. And this gets me thinking, because the reason they say that is because the portrayal of their love affair and their marriage was that she was this 14-year-old girl that eventually was introduced to Elvis. Elvis, for some reason, clicked with her and felt he could talk to her. She's an American in Germany, which probably stood out. Obviously, she was a beautiful girl, but still very young. And he had, probably lost his mum not that long before, less than a year before he met Priscilla. So he wanted someone to talk to and pour his heart out to. And he was very insecure about his future. He thought he'd be forgotten. He just wanted people around him that he trusted. So we know that he rented a house in Germany, and he had certain members of the Memphis Mafia stay with him, and his parents, and I think even Minnie May. So Elvis created his own little home away in Germany, and Priscilla walked into that world probably completely out of her depth, not expecting Elvis to fall for her head over heels. And I know you guys have got this complicated version of Child Bride, the book, that the whole story is completely different, where it was all pre-planned. But let's follow the narrative that we have been fed since the 60s and the late 50s. So they have this special chemistry. But we know that Elvis, I'm pretty sure, was seeing Anita Wood at the time. But there was other things, because obviously you've got June Junico. So it's not completely clear who Elvis's actual girlfriends were 100%. I think June Junico was a bit before this period. But the truth is, Elvis, his heart was in other places as well. It wasn't just with Priscilla. So Elvis leaves Germany in like 60 to pursue his career, his ambitions. And then Priscilla, this is the story we're told, is waiting for him and stays in touch through writing letters and sending records to him. And eventually she gets a surprise phone call out of the blue quite a while after he'd left. So I'm not sure the exact period, but I think it was at least a year, saying, do you want to come to Germany? And gets to America, to Graceland, and then gets the permission of the parents. I think she moves just before her 17th birthday. She moves to Gracelands. And then the story we're told is that she went through her education whilst Elvis went off and made the movies, left her alone. And then the story we're told is that she is the innocent victim that was lonely and that he was being unfaithful to, and that she just grew very unhappy until suddenly he proposes to her, and we're told that this was from pressure from the Colonel Tom Parker and from Vernon Presley, and he was forced into it, which I don't think that's completely correct, because I personally think that he did love her and he did have times where he wanted to marry Priscilla, but I think he would keep changing his mind. Obviously, he led a double life when he was off making the movies. This is through the 60s. Which is, that there's no doubt about that was going on. But what we don't really get told is that whilst Elvis was away leading his double life, Priscilla was leading her double life because she was having affairs. She was up to no good. And I don't believe that Priscilla was stuck in Gracelands or in one of their other homes, lonely and bored. I think she was having a great time with friends and family visiting, but also with the Memphis Mafia's wives. And I personally think Priscilla had a very full life when Elvis was away. Come on. She had loads of money to spend and she could have whatever she wanted to, and she was looking after the home. When Lisa Marie comes along, even more so, she's creating a lovely home for her and Lisa Marie. So what I'm just getting to I'm waffling on a bit here. I'm trying to get to the point here. I personally think they were victims to each other, because Priscilla acts like she was the victim. And when you see her in certain interviews, there are certain bits of interviews she says, look, he was unfaithful. He was never going to change. Temptation was too strong. He couldn't resist it. And then she talks about how he would go away and she'd literally be just waiting for him all the time, which I think to a certain degree did happen. But the bit she never mentions is that she was doing naughty things and being unfaithful, and she was up to no good as well. So they were both up to no good. So I think, because Elvis would hear things that were going on, so he would come back off his making the movies, and they would have arguments about stuff that Elvis had heard had gone on with friendships that she was having. So I think they actually were hurting each other, because Elvis was worried about her and what she was up to. She was worried about Elvis and what he was up to. Now she comes across like all she ever wanted from Elvis was him to be home with her and Lisa, so they could just have a normal family marriage, which unfortunately Elvis was never going to give, because he was very career driven. He loved working. He loved being Elvis Presley. He loved doing his concert tours. He, in the earlier years, loved making the movies. And then you've got the 68 comeback. And he couldn't believe the success of the 68 comeback. He was so insecure and so worried, almost refusing to go back on stage or to go on stage and do the 68 special. But it was such a massive success, and he was looking his best. He had really slimmed out and got fit. and dressed amazingly, and the whole show was just fantastic. And that just completely, that was another new beginning for Elvis, a new vigor. He couldn't believe it, and he was so thankful and grateful for that he was given a second chance. Because don't forget, Elvis had many insecurities about himself as a performer. You know, when the people like the Beatles came along, he felt he wasn't at the top of his game anymore. So suddenly the 68 comeback puts him back up there. And then the deal is done with Colonel Tom Parker. The Las Vegas deal is done, and he's off again. He has some very successful albums as well through this period. So Elvis is loving the fact that he is at the top again. He's not just at the top at the 68 comeback. He's at the top with the Vegas tours. So he really did love being Elvis. So he was off in his separate world from Priscilla. And we have to give this to Priscilla, but Elvis, I do think, tried to live a double life. He had when he gets home to Graceland or one of the other homes that he was living in, he would be the family man. He would do the family things. He was a great father when he was home. He was a great husband when he was home. And he would, they would do hundreds of things together when he was back at Graceland. And he loved going back to Graceland. He loved coming home. And he would be lovely to be with and great with Lisa and Priscilla. But then he would go off again and it would all start again. So I personally think that they were victims to each other. I think that they hurt each other's lives. And I don't think Elvis really properly ever fully recovered from the hurt of the marriage and the relationship he had with Priscilla. Whereas Priscilla, when I look at her early interviews, I would say that once she moved on with Mike Stone, and I know there was others, she looked like she was loving the freedom, the new beginning. And I think Priscilla actually was really happy when she managed to completely break away from Elvis. I really believe that. And I've picked this up for all the little interviews I've watched. And I think for her, a new beginning was a fantastic thing for her. And obviously her relationships didn't really work out. She had the business ventures, then she broke into TV, and then as she got a bit older, did a movie, and obviously we know about Dallas and The Fall Guy, and probably there's other things. And obviously she was promoting things like, I think, perfumes and shampoos, and I think there's a car advert I've seen her do with Lisa Marie. So, Priscilla was off with her own career, and she obviously had aspirations to be famous in her own right and have her own TV and cinema and movies and advertising and entrepreneur business type things. So I actually think Priscilla loved it when she split up from Elvis. I think it was different with Elvis. I think that Elvis found it very difficult when they were going through the divorce process, didn't want to break up the family. He was a good Christian boy. It didn't feel right to him, but he also, I think, knew that their relationship was just not going to work, couldn't work. Stuff had gone on, maybe things that we don't even know about as fans. Well, I don't think he could forgive Priscilla, because I think once he found out about Mike Stone, he wanted her out and gone. He wanted it over. He had lost his pride. He felt stupid. So I think he was very angry and upset. I think once he calmed down, he tried to sort of keep the friendship going for the sake of Lisa Marie, but also he still had feelings for Priscilla, I think. But then Linda Thompson comes along and completely changes all that, because he really did like Linda Thompson. He was very smitten. And I've watched the Linda Thompson interviews, many of them, and I've watched the Memphis Mafia talking about Linda Thompson, and they really did hit it off. She was a good Southern girl. I think she was a beautiful woman, a very decent woman, and she genuinely loved Elvis. and when I watch the interviews and I read different things. And unfortunately, Elvis, within a year, because they were together most days for the first year, had a wandering eye, and he was still doing his concert tours, and he would get with other women, and Linda knew about it. And then by then he was becoming very unwell. So Linda felt like she was his nurse, and they were worried about him basically overdosing. And after 4 years, that went wrong, really. I actually think Elvis found it difficult to split up from Linda. I think by the time Elvis gets to Ginger Alden, he's a very unwell man, like that, for many reasons. He had some genuinely serious medical conditions. We know about the twisted colon and glaucoma, but many other issues as well. And we know about the fact that Gladys's parents were first cousins, so that caused illnesses for Elvis. But then he used the pills to sleep and to wake up, and for many different reasons. And I think Elvis really did think he was an expert with different medicines and thought he knew what he was doing. So you were never going to tell Elvis what he should and shouldn't do. And he was in and out of hospital all through those years. You know, I think from 73 on, maybe even late 72, he was very unwell, Elvis, even though he still looks great in 72, 73. So just before I go on to the comments, the thing I'm trying to say is they were both victims of that relationship, both of them, equally. They both suffered, but they also had a lot of highs as well. So it wasn't all bad. So that's just my take on things, guys. So now I want to go through some comments. Quite a few came in last night. And I do sometimes wake up in the middle of the night and read a few comments because I'm not the best sleeper. So let's just, where are we going to start? I always find it difficult to find these comments on YouTube. Let's have a look. I'm just going to go from the top. Right, here we are. So I'm going to read them, whether they're good or bad, or I'm just going to go through them. And so I do find it difficult that I get so many people trying to tell me off for talking about Priscilla, but these are the comments coming in, guys. So I'm not going to just ignore them. So Susie Mitchell, who does give me a hard time. Hi, Susie, if you watch this. Again, why are you putting up with Priscilla Presley every day? Right, let's have a look. So we have, I think this one's from Russia. Right, shh. Let me just see if there's a post. That might be the postman. 1 second. Right, okay, wait. All right, stop it. Come on. Over here, don't worry. It's okay. It's all right, it's just the postman, don't worry, it's okay. Right, calm down now. Right, stop it. Stop. Sorry about that, guys. Right. It's the postman, but he's gone next door. Right, sorry about that. So let's just read some of the comments. We'll see how they pan out. You write and speak the truth, true truth on your channel. It is very important that people and the future generations know the truth about the life and work of Elvis Presley. Priscilla, whitewashing herself, writes nasty things about him. That's why she is annoyed by people who sincerely appreciate the work of Elvis Presley. There are millions of them, and she can't stop us all over the planet. She is an angry and vindictive woman who can only sue everyone. Don't be afraid and don't be silent. The time will thank you. Unfortunately, she is a mediocre woman who lives only in the past and except in name. She has nothing to earn Elvis with. And this is user SQ1GK, who comments regularly, I think from Russia. So, you know, I don't mind people doing comments and in breaking it down in detail why they think she has been wrong with Elvis. That's fine. I don't mind that. The lady, here we go, this is a strong one. Now, it's not my fault that all these comments are aimed at Priscilla, but let's just keep going. The lady is a pathological liar. She doesn't know what the truth is. She lied that much. She believes she is telling the truth. Now, I will say this, and I said this yesterday. I have watched hundreds and hundreds of interviews with Priscilla Presley going right back to the 80s, and she rarely says bad things about Elvis. But when she does, I think there are things that she should keep to herself. It's usually drawn out from her by the interviewer. So she'll answer 20 questions praising Elvis. And then they'll throw in, oh, was he unfaithful? Did he take medication? Did he have a temper? Was he controlling? They throw these things in. And this is when I think she starts saying things that she could just leave out because it upsets the fans. She's just talking about her own audience after she finally got acting work by using Elvis, and after Elvis died. It really isn't relevant to anything. This is Sapphire Blue. It is relevant because she did play a massive part in his life right back from 1959. So it's very relevant because I'm trying to give a rounded story of Elvis's short life. Right, now here is Ruth Wilson, and her comments are very passionate. I think it is so beautiful how much hatred Priscilla Presley gets for a man she married and you didn't. That's a blessing on her. Life and not yours. Crush on a man you don't know but has feelings for you would disrespect a woman Elvis loves and not you. Bless the king of rock and roll making the right choice and not picking strangers to fall in love with. Okay, I find that a bit confusing, but it is. I'm reading it how it's coming across. So Sophie's stealing. This is Sophie's stealing. I was 13 and I was outside playing. My family knew I loved him. So my uncle actually came to the window looking for me and told me the awful news. I ran upstairs to watch the news, crying to make sure if it was true. This is obviously talking about the day he passed. I do not like Priscilla. She's not good at anything. She would not have anything without Elvis's name. She should never have used his name. She should not be buried at Graceland at all. Her and Lisa did not get along because Priscilla stole from her. And that is very typical views, isn't it? It's what many are saying this at the moment, that Priscilla, because she was getting paid $900,000 a year whilst running Gracelands, that was stealing from Priscilla. But my take on it is that she was going to get paid to run Gracelands and help run Elvis Presley Enterprises. She was never going to do it for nothing. And the money she got was going to be celebrity wages. It wasn't going to be the sort of wages that you and me are used to. So do I think she took way too much? Yes, I do. I think she took way too much. But she was going to get paid for it, guys. Right, let's have a look. Okay. So here's another guy who doesn't. So Putin. Why talk incessantly about Madame Bulow? Are there no other subjects? Now, I'll tell you what, Mr. Putin, Mrs. Putin, thanks for your comment. I appreciate it. And I know that you don't like Priscilla because you've told me many times, which is your right, and I respect that. But I have done over 4,000 videos, and hundreds and hundreds of those videos have got nothing to do with Priscilla. Nothing to do with Priscilla. I have covered every aspect of Elvis's life, right from his birth to today, and obviously right up to the day he passed. So I would say my Priscilla videos are probably like 10% of the videos I've done. So I do cover all the different subjects. Talk a little more about the musical history and the work of the biggest star who walked on the earth. Now, my channel is more about the life of Elvis. And right, okay, that's enough. Come on. Don't need the postman, don't worry. So, shh. Come over here. Come and say hello. Come on. Come on. She's not gonna. She actually chases the postman. So, my channel, I can't really post music because YouTube tell me off. There's copyright problems with music, so I don't post the music very often unless I find something that's copyright free. So my channel isn't really more about the music. It's more about the man, his life, and anything that was connected to Elvis's life, including Priscilla. So 50 years have passed since their divorce, and she still clings to him like a boy. To stay in the spotlight and raking the money, journalists and media don't hand her the microphone anymore, or else ask him about his other boyfriend. But please, let Elvis and his family rest in peace. They deserve it. Thank you, sincerely. Taking care of business. Elvis, gifts of God. Elvis is a gift of God. He definitely was a gift. Okay. So, she was experienced. She dated Cary Grant. Need to rephrase that. She wasn't a child bride. No, she wasn't. She was nearly 22 when they got married. And the Cary Grant book, you know, the child bride book, is brought up regularly. Right, let me try and click on I find if I actually click on a video, I get, right, all right, I'm just doing a live at the moment. Okay, thank you. Right, let's have a look. Let's go on here and let's go to videos, content. Now, one of them, right, this video here, I'm going to play it to you. Actually, no, I played it to you yesterday. Hi, Gail and Kerry Gardiner from Australia. Nice to meet you this morning. It's Louis in the southwest UK. Australia. What part of Australia are you in? AU. Is that? And do you like living there? Is it a great, amazing place? Is the weather perfect? Because our weather here today isn't great. It's a bit overcast today. So let me just, now this video, I only posted it a day ago and it's had 79 comments. That's a lot of comments for a one-day video. It's called Priscilla Presley, I Want Justice. I'll just play the beginning of it. Oh, Queensland. I bet it is lovely. I love Australia. I'd love to go there. Absolutely would love it. Hi guys, I've decided I'm going to start looking back at the old interviews with Priscilla Presley.
I was in Hollywood last weekend to talk to Priscilla Presley about her motion picture debut in the Christmas release The Naked Gun, which we'll talk more about in the upcoming weeks. Indeed, it's been a long, strange trip for Priscilla, who was once married to the king of rock and roll. Well, now with story after story and book after book about Elvis popping up, the conversation turned to her own accounts of the way it was.
The first major movie. So this is the video I posted yesterday, and surprisingly, it's had a silly amount of comments. So let's just start at the top. All right. Amongst the books of unfairly portraying Elvis and Me is certainly one of the worst ones, mainly knowing that she made Lisa read it at 17 years old. Okay, actually, I didn't know that. So then let's have a look at the more comments from that one comment. If it was factual, which only Elvis and Priscilla now know, I Read It was no more than a story about love and life, and they could no longer live in. I certainly didn't stop being an Elvis fan from anything I read in that book or any book written. So then we've got, is it true only they know? But it turns out that Elvis is not here to tell his story. And many people say that he's not here to defend himself. Right, let's have a look here. Thank you. You are right. I thought that was a kind of weird telling of your sexual exploits to your daughter. My mum and I never had that kind of relationship, thank God. Okay, let's keep going. Virtual signaling. Child bride said it was because she needed money. She addresses none of the comments the bodyguards made in Elvis What Happened. She said she would right the wrongs. She injected even more secrets about Elvis than the guys ever did. It's all seemed to be about her and Elvis. So the statement seems like a good excuse to write a book. And Margaret did a better job of defending Elvis. When on Charlie Rose's show, she said many who wrote the books were jealous and greedy. She said Elvis had been so good to them and give them homes, cars, cash, and support and thanks. Yeah, which is all true, isn't it? I do think the Memphis Mafia double-crossed Elvis, even though I also think that they truly, deeply loved him. I think that money and greed and jealousy and envy was a real problem with the Memphis Mafia. But I also can see that sometimes the Memphis Mafia were really good for Elvis and did everything they could for Elvis to really try and help him. But it was a sad ending when that book was released, literally weeks before Elvis passed away. It was a massive smack in the face for Elvis, and it must have deeply hurt Elvis. And we know about the conversation that Red West recorded when they were trying to work things out, and Elvis was so nice to Red West in that phone call. You can watch it on YouTube. I personally take issues that Red West was secretly recording that conversation that he had with Elvis, because I think that says a lot about Red West. Now, I don't hate Red West, but I don't think he should have recorded that conversation. And I think no matter what the problems were, they should not have done that book. And to say that the reason they did the book was to stop him with the medication and overdosing and taking all the tablets. No, I think they were angry. I think they wanted a bit of revenge. Of course, they were truly worried about the way he was medicating himself. Of course they were. And they were seriously worried that he was going to die very soon. I know that. But you don't go and write a book. Sorry, guys, you were his friends for many, many years. And I mean, some of the people that were involved with that book were from the later years of the Memphis Mafia. So shouldn't have happened, guys. Sorry, but most fans will tell you that that book should not have been written. There's a few little digs here against Billy Smith, Elvis's cousin. And I just think it's a funny one with Billy Smith, because I know that Billy and Elvis were very, very close. So, you know, I've got good things to say about Billy Smith and bad things to say. So it's a mixed bag there. And Margaret really double-crossed Elvis. That book, Red West, is a friend of my uncle. Vernon was at fault in that situation. Yeah, do you mean that Vernon gave them almost no notice, a week's notice to basically stop working for Elvis? Do you mean that part of it? Is that what you mean, Gail and Kerry Gardner? Right. Let's keep reading. Why aren't the Smiths not connected to the Presley family today? And no one will ask yourself why I told you he let Elvis down. He might have loved Elvis, but he let Elvis families do the greed by looks of it. Right, so let's keep going. Just like Elvis's bodyguards did when they wrote the book, I remember Lisa Marie being so mad at interviews talking about family members that wouldn't have been forgiven for speaking out about Elvis. Wonder who they were in the middle end, all about the money. And yeah, I've seen those interviews with Lisa Marie. She was very, very upset about the books being written about Elvis from supposedly close friends and maybe even family members. I know about that. Ask Priscilla why the Smiths weren't involved with them. They are beautiful people. They have not done wrong by Elvis. They were both living at Graceland. They know the truth. And we know they've got their own channel, Billy Smith and his son. And Billy's on there with his wife. It's worth a look, guys. They, bottom line is they lived with him. They know better than I do. They know better than most of us do. So let's keep going. Someone says to me, stop removing my comments, but I will remove them if they're rude. I will, because you can say things to me without being rude. Let's keep going. Come on, guys. Let's all be nice to each other. She did write a book that was not meant to Elvis, but I think it was after the Albert Goldman book, Elvis, The Thing Is. If she really cared about Elvis, she would have sued for slander for him. She was the only one who had legal standing to do it and refused to sue. I was one of the fans who wrote her demanding that she sue, and I was one of the fans who got a form letter back saying that she would not sue. Okay, well, that's interesting. That was from Sapphire Blue. Okay, right. I didn't read a lot of Elvis's books, only the ones like Priscilla, The Bodyguards, and a few others. Only one that were close to Elvis. And that was Janice. So there have been hundreds of books written about Elvis, and I think he's been more written about than any other one other than Jesus. You can't possibly read them all. It's very true. Okay, let's keep going. Right, let's click on to the next one and just read a few more. I mean, some of these comments are very passionate, so let's keep going. I do not like Priscilla. She was not good. And I know we've read that one. Let's have a look. No, we've read these ones. Let's go again. Right. Oh, that's good. My daughter's just texted me saying she got the job. I just said to her, not surprised. You're amazing. Right, let's keep going. So, where are we? I have 5 kids at home, guys. My wife is 41. She's much younger than me. The real one to read is Born to Die Young. Yes, I do know about that book. Am I speaking to Gail or Kerry? Or both? Look at this one. 49 comments. Whoa. Let's have a look. I think this is referring a bit with Child Bride, the book. This is Green HW6QM. I care nothing about Priscilla in any way. What I think of her would never be allowed on here. I still say she was behind whoever tried to take Grayson from Riley, and she will never stop her. Greedy is beyond words. Riley should wake up. Priscilla is after everything. Hi, Gail. So it's, if I want to find comments that are having a go at Priscilla, it's so easy. There's so many, but let's just keep reading. No, not the lies. She was used goods before she meets Elvis, and she should a reward for being such a good actress that Elvis believed. Poor man. Not worded very clearly, but I get what you're saying. If you believe Child Bride, that she was not this innocent girl, used goods, as you put it in this comment, and she was a good actress because she basically tricked Elvis into falling for her. This is what the book is saying, Child Bride. But come on, she was 14. How used could she have been? Especially in the 1950s. Do you really think that she was putting herself about that much at the age of 14? I find it hard to believe, guys. Now, do I believe she had other boyfriends? Yes. But do I think she was like used meat? No. Come on. How much do you do when you're 14? Especially in the 50s. Right, let's have a look. Okay. Let's just get to the comments. I'm going to play some videos soon, guys. My uncle was in the army with Elvis and Charlie Hodge. I've done some great videos of the army years. I think Elvis loved the army. I think he loved it. As we know, he wanted to be treated like everyone else. And he made some very good friends. A couple of them ended up being in the Memphis Mafia in the army. And he really wanted to serve for his country and was very proud to serve for his country. But obviously the big shock of Gladys Presley passing during basic training just was like something he never recovered from. That's the truth of it. Right, let's keep reading. Why do you think it's hard to believe? Look, all she has done to Elvis and Lisa Marie. It's all about Priscilla and what she wanted. It's funny because people keep bringing up the comments about the lawsuit with Riley Keough and obviously, and the 900,000 she was taking as wages. But and also disagreeing with the alteration to the will of Lisa Marie and saying it wasn't her signature. People keep bringing that up. But I would say that there was a massive long period, well before Lisa Marie passed away, where generally Priscilla was just getting on with business, wasn't she? She was just running Gracelands, helping run EPE. She was going around the world doing her shows and personal performances, and she got involved in anything Elvis, whether it be auctioning off his memorabilia. And I would say that Priscilla spent almost all of her time praising and promoting Elvis. People keep telling me all these terrible things that Priscilla's done, but I will say this: 95% of the things I'm watching are Priscilla promoting Elvis, saying good things about Elvis. I'm just trying to be fair. It says here that an advert's coming up, so I don't really know what that means. If I'm going to disappear, I don't know. Anyway, so I don't think it's fair to completely ignore that Priscilla has done thousands and thousands of things promoting Elvis. And I know you guys are going to straight away saying, yeah, but because she got paid to do it. Fair enough. But she still promotes Elvis. She still has spent her life promoting Elvis. Now, I definitely disagree with the negative things that she says about Elvis on and off over the years. Of course I do. Yeah, she's out of order. She should be keeping these things to herself. But that doesn't mean it cancels out all the good stuff she's done. So the day Gladys died, Elvis died, I was friends with Lisa. It's her signature. The day Gladys died, Elvis died too. I was friends with Lisa. It's her signature. I'm not sure what you mean about. Oh, I see what you mean. Right. I see what you mean. Right. Okay. So you believe that the signature was definitely Lisa Marie's signature in the will. Is that what you're saying? Well, Priscilla wasn't a promotion of Elvis. Now what? Look, I'll tell you what I mean. Remember, I definitely I'm very unhappy with many things that Priscilla has done to Elvis. I think she was cruel to Elvis. I think the way she treated him was wrong. I think the way she went after his money was over the top. I think the way she was unfaithful was too much. And I don't like the things she's written in the book Elvis and Me. And I also don't like many things that she does for money. And especially the way that after Lisa Marie has passed away, I don't like the way she's gone back to life as normal, business as usual. Don't like it. But she has spent her whole life talking about Elvis and not all bad stuff. You could go on YouTube and pick up hundreds of interviews, and almost all of the interviews will be her praising Elvis, saying how happy she was, how many good times they had, how amazing Elvis was, how generous he was, how gifted he was. You try it out. You go on YouTube and you try and find an interview of her putting Elvis down. You'll struggle. This is my point. And I know that she does it for money. I do know that. I get that. So what I'm trying to say is, you say promotion, Elvis. What I'm trying to say is that she has spent her life, she has dedicated her life to talking about Elvis's legacy. She has. She's done that. That's fact. If I spent the next 40 years of my life saying good things about Elvis, which is what she's done, yeah, that still happen, even if I then go on to say bad things, a few bad things as well. It doesn't take away the fact that I said the good things. This is what I'm trying to say to you, to try and be fair and give a rounded opinion. Like if you watch the Piers Morgan interview, she spends the whole hour praising Elvis. That's the truth. That's what happened. Now, do I think that Priscilla has another agenda? Yeah, probably. Do I think Priscilla is in it for the fame and loves attention? Yeah, I do. But I also know that she has helped promote Elvis. And she did make a difference. When they launched Graceland, she did make a difference. She did make it more successful. And Lisa Marie Presley did allow Priscilla, when she turned 25, to carry on running Gracelands and helping run EPE. She did. So Lisa Marie, for a while, must have been very happy with Priscilla in the younger years. But I've got strong opinions on Scientology. I don't agree with it. They should never have been sent off to Scientology, Lisa Marie. And I know that they fell out over many things, Priscilla and Lisa, and they had a very difficult relationship, mother and daughter. But I also know that Lisa Marie was a very rebellious, strong-minded girl that would stand up to Priscilla. So it's very complicated, guys. It is. Right. So let's have a look. Right. So here's a comment from Julie's. I think I might have read this one already, but I'll read it again. Louis, I don't think Child Bride is a load of lies, as you say. If there were too many untruths in the book, don't you think Priscilla would dispute the book, which she never has? I think the book is loaded up with lots of truths, and Priscilla, nonetheless, we may never know the real truth. Hello. Good morning. I thought you were at school. This is my son. He's doing his exams. His name's Rio. Are you doing your revising, mate? Rio, are you an Elvis fan?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course he is. He isn't able to talk about his life with Priscilla. Therefore, like you said, it may be a closed subject. However, Elvis fans don't trust Priscilla. As far as her version of life with Elvis goes, she has said too many bad things about Elvis already, which paints him in being a villain and some sort of victim, which is true. I think Child Bride is true and not hard to believe because Priscilla is so fake and not what she claims to be. Just my opinion. I don't hate Priscilla. I think you do. But I just don't trust her at all. I don't think she is credible. And I know, guys, a lot of people don't trust Priscilla. A lot of people don't believe a word she says. Many of you think that Priscilla, the Child Bride book is completely true. We could never know, could we? Right, so just had a comment come in. Lady Capricorn, are you on? Just had a comment from Lady Capricorn. Louis, are you aware of the other theories regarding the supposed death of Elvis on YouTube? Elvis Presley, the man, is alive. Much older information. Sophia Emporium, Suze Pratt. I'm not really sure what you're saying, but no. Do I think even for a second that Elvis didn't die in 1977? No, I definitely don't. So let's go back. Okay. Right, that's all we go. So we're coming up to an hour. So I think what I'm going to do is play some videos, some shorts. Let's speak about a few of them, and then I'm going to go off and work on my camper van. Again, it's finished now, but I'm just fine-tuning it. Right, so let's keep it a bit light-hearted. So we've got Elvis Presley on-set footage.
It happened at the World's Fair. In September of 1962, Elvis and the film crew began shooting on location at the Seattle World's Fairgrounds.
Hi guys, and a great introduction there from Elvis's old friend, George Klein. And they met each other at Hume's High, and it's being filmed in 1962. And I just love the way that Elvis is looking friendly and happy. He also stops to sign autographs. He's surrounded by security and police. In 1963, when it was released, Elvis was probably the most famous man on the planet. And I just loved seeing him looking so relaxed and super handsome and so well dressed. Thanks, guys.
It happened at the World's Fair.
Let's play a few more. Let's have a look. Elvis Presley's. Let's have a look. Morning, guys. Thought I'd post a few trailers. Here's It's Happened at the World's Fair, 1963.
Something new has been added. The warm touch of a great guy. Of course, he has a big sweetheart, too. Several of them, in fact.
1 minute, there's something in this eye, and the next minute, there's something in this eye.
He's got something in his eye, all right. Yes, the Space Needle rocks and the monorail rolls in an eye-popping riot of explosive hilarity.
Boy, did this man really give you a quarter to kick him? Yes, he's some kind of nut.
And of gorgeous gals. Gags and gangsters.
Get moving. Come on, move.
And did you spot the very... I love these clips. And you obviously got Kurt Russell there when he's just a little boy kicking him. Isn't it funny how Kurt Russell went on to play him in that film? And probably my favourite film of Elvis, the Kurt Russell one. Right, let's keep looking. So Elvis looking great. Hi guys, we've got lots of great little clips here from the 1970s. I'm just walking down the road. It's a beautiful sunny day. And I come across these montages that just show Elvis at his best. Looking great, looking happy, dressed amazingly. He had the best sense of fashion and style that just came naturally to him. And I really enjoy watching him when he's looking upbeat, positive, cheerful, and super friendly to the fans. And you can just tell that he's loving life in these clips. Thanks, guys. Have a great day. I love these old clips of Elvis looking happy. Let's keep going, guys. Right. I literally have thousands and thousands of videos that I made in the last year. And they really do take... Each short, I think, took me about 3 hours to make. These shorts. Let's have a look. Let's do one about him singing gospel. Not everyone knows that Elvis truly loved gospel music. He grew up on gospel music. In church, in Tupelo, he would go there with his parents. Singing gospel was a way for him to connect with God and express his faith. He enjoyed the feeling of joy and inspiration that gospel music gave him.
Gospel music was embedded into Elvis's life, and he really tried to sing gospel music at the beginning, but he wasn't accepted. He wasn't good enough.
Gospel music was the most important music in Elvis's life, but he was destined to be a superstar.
I did not want a white man trying to sound like Poppy. I wanted somebody that had that natural feel, momentum that came from inside, not just from the teeth out.
Not everyone knows. Great words there from Sam Phillips. And, you know, Elvis, I just think, sometimes I think people don't get Elvis. They see the rock star, the person who, the wildlife that he lived. But I think a non-fan don't realise that he was a very decent man with strong morals and strong convictions, a very religious man, obviously a very decent Christian. And I think people don't realise the good Elvis wanted to do with his life. And Elvis always felt guilty about having money and having massive success as much as he enjoyed it. So, yeah, I've done a few videos of the Hawaii Aloha concert. And because he gets interviewed at the concert as well, not at the concert, outside of the concert. All the fans are waiting. Let me just lucky you that you went there. I'd love to have gone to that. Love to. And he looked brilliant, didn't he? Right, let's do a couple more. This is one with June Junico. Let's see if one of Elvis's ex-girlfriends is around 57.
Morning, guys. I'm up early in the morning again, and I've come across this brilliant, lovely story.
Well, I remember him coming here one day, and a lady called on the phone, and she had a little girl that had leukemia. And the little girl was crazy about Elvis, as small as she was. And she called me up and she said, Miss May, is Elvis there? And I said, he sure is. She said, well, I wonder if I came up there, would he spend a little time with Carol? He said, sure. Come, tell her to come on up. They came on in the house and met Elvis.
The little girl was real shy, and she wouldn't look at Elvis when she was talking to him. And he would take her and turn her face up to his to hear what she was saying.
And it wasn't but about maybe a month or so that she had passed away, that she had got her wish to be with Elvis.
And I find this so touching. She got her wish to meet Elvis Presley. Morning, guys. I'm up
very touching as well. June Junico in there. Just this is what I'm trying to say. Elvis would go out of his way to give his money away, to help people. And I don't just mean like, oh, I've got loads of money, I'm just going to give everyone my money. No. He wanted to make a difference. He wanted to help people that needed it. He wanted to help people that were unwell, like with medical expenses. And he would read the newspapers looking for people that were needy, that needed help. And then he would even sometimes go to their homes and fix their problem, whatever it was. Just such a lovely man. Yeah, I want to go Gracelands one day, Gail. I'm going to go one day. Maybe we'll meet each other there. And I'll take my wife, I think, would love to come. Right, let's have a look here. So I'm going to end it now. I'm going to play... let's have a look. I was just seeing if I can find the Hawaii video, but it's not coming up. Oh, I do like the June Junico one. I'm going to play the June Junico one. Is Elvis's girlfriend in 1956. We know about that when they would go to Biloxi. Elvis met June Junico. She was at the front of one of his concerts. He took a liking to her, and they ended up having a romantic time together. And she reminisces as an old lady, and then you get clips of her when she was young talking about it. So let's go out on a high, shall we? I do apologise if when we're talking about Priscilla, I don't mean to upset anyone. And I'm not just going to talk about Priscilla all the time. I'm going to make hundreds and hundreds of videos all about Elvis and different parts of his life. Anyway, let's listen to this.
One and only June Nico. June, the fans have been asking about you. What would you like to say to the Elvis's fans?
Hello, girls. I love all of you. And we knew a good thing when we saw it, right? Back then, we all knew. First place. We knew a good thing when we saw it.
Just enjoying a bit of sunshine in the UK. And I found this amazing footage of Elvis Presley in 1956 in Biloxi with his girlfriend at the time. And I just thought, this is so interesting. And I thought my subscribers and the Elvis fans would absolutely love it. So let's watch it together. Do any of you fans out there know what car that is? Obviously, that's Red West. Such great footage.
Girlfriend June Juanico. They were young, foolish, engaged, and in love.
One and only.
So that was around 9:57, and yeah, I know about Anita Wood, and I've done quite a few videos with Anita Wood. I do think that they actually, for a short period of time, were definitely going to get married, those two. Elvis had asked her to wait for him, and believe it or not, Elvis meeting Priscilla Presley was the problem between Anita Wood and Priscilla Bulow, because I know the story that Anita Wood was walking down the stairs and heard Vernon and Elvis chatting about the dilemma where Elvis was trying to make his mind up who he preferred. And I think when Anita Wood said, look, I'm out of here, I'm not going to be number two, Elvis tried to stop her, but she had made up her mind. She was not going to be the second girl. So she was lovely, Anita Wood, and she was famous in her own right, wasn't she? Because she was presenting that show on TV, and they would have made a beautiful couple. I know that Gladys really liked Anita Wood as well. So there's just so many different stories. But if I said to you, who is the most common person that everyone wishes Elvis married, it was Anne Margaret. But I dispute that, and I'll tell you why. Because she was too career-minded, too successful, too talented in her own right. Elvis didn't want that. He wanted a Southern girl at home that he could help mold and have a settled life with, to look after the home. I really believe that. He didn't want a starlet. He didn't want a Hollywood glamorous girl, you know. Yes, Elvis was besotted with Anne Margaret because she was stunning and beautiful and talented and fun to be with and a lovely person. But would he have married her? No, I don't think so. And if he did, wouldn't have worked out, because that's not what was in Elvis's heart. He wanted a Southern girl, like Linda Thompson, I would say. All right, guys, I'm going to say goodbye, and I hope you didn't find it too boring. I love it when you guys are here with me watching. Thanks, Gail. And I can tell that you've got very strong views of Priscilla, but trust me, I love Elvis. Elvis is here with me, here. Elvis has helped me since I was 4 years old, and I will always have his back. And I am not a Priscilla fan. So I am not. I know that she has made serious mistakes, and I completely understand why you guys are very upset with her. Yeah, and that's probably in the Child Bride book as well, Gail. So thanks, Gail, and give my regards to Kerry Gardner. Have a great day, everyone. I'll be back again tomorrow. I'll think of a new topic other than Priscilla. And I get so many comments that I tend to like to follow the comments. Have a great day, everyone. I'll give you a wave. Hope you've enjoyed it. All the best.